You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this dude, he's his mental is deep, man, and he's been through a lot, so he's able to peel back and see things in a way that we don't really see things. We're not capable of seeing things because we lack the experience that he experienced, right? So, but turns a sinner, a child into a killer. This is one of the most impactful lines in the verse to me, anyways. Welcome back to another episode of Goat Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on the goats on this channel, man. And we're continuing on with this Making a Renegade, featuring myself. This is Making a Renegade, episode 5 now. Is it 5? I believe it's 5. Yeah, we'll get it right in the title. So if I'm wrong, bear with me. It should be 5 though. It's gonna be REN Money Game. We're starting the Money Game trilogy. Money Game 1 and Money Game 3 will both be on YouTube in the coming days. But Money Game 2 is an exclusive Patreon GOAT level membership to access. So if you want to see the trilogy and its cohesiveness, sign up for the Patreon and get with the team, man. We built a Renegade squad over there already. We got a nice group of Renegades over there. I had to make a whole chat for them because they coming through mobbing. So yeah, man, sign up for the Patreon if you want to catch the entire season. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be 15 episodes of Making a Renegade, and we are just getting started. So this is episode 5. It's gonna be REN Money Game. Patreon's gonna have all 3 of them tonight in one shot. So that's the perks you get with Patreon. The same as making a stand. So if you're a Renegade fan and you're also a stan, yeah, you get all that. I'm doing the recovery album right now, so they're getting 3 reactions out of that. I'm also putting out the Eminem Fuel remix today. I'm going to work today, dog. I am working for y'all. So you come to the Patreon, I do my best to make it worth it. But let's get right into it because I know this is going to be on YouTube and I can't be too long-winded. But let's go. REN Money Game. I've been loving this journey, man.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by...
It's crazy, dog, because like y'all was telling me, like, listen to the Hunger, and I did the Hunger. That's episode 4 for y'all on YouTube fans. That's on the Patreon as well, another exclusive. But and he got in his rap bag and that. Don't get it twisted. But this is very like, this is even more rapidy than his other stuff as far as like the trilogy of the Jenny, Screech, and Violet. Like, even though he was really good on that as well. He said, it's strange the time we're living in. World can put fear in you. He said, hierarchy parties that make us feel inferior. Greed runs through the parliament interior. Devils walk among us. They fit the criteria. Eerie theories strike fear in weary-minded men. It's like the way I'm butchering that flow, but the way he's breaking up that flow is just showing you like he's so intricate with the bars, dog. He's actually very freaking what's that word? Methodical, like with the bars. Like he's like that. I'm gonna run it back because I do want to pick up.
Hierarchy party.
Let's go, Ren.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in you. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Dog, this is I'm gonna let the hook play.
Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poisoning point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
Man, a strange time we're living in. World could put fear in you. Hierarchy parties that make us feel inferior. Greed runs through the parliament interior. Devils walk amongst us. They fit the criteria. Eerie theories strike fear in weary-minded men. We were clearer living in dictatorships, nearly blinded by illusions to choose. But who's fooling who? A ball chained to your shoes. I'm paying them. It's crying. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that the whole world and lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But the money was invented for trade. But now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turn a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of this money game. Rain, 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 rain. Storms come our way. And those who rise in those distorted lies, poison in their veins. We all point to blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but pointing the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. I probably butchered that, but yo, this is crazy. Oh man, that verse very very detailed. I already feel like I'm a part of the story. Like I already know like where he's going at. I'm wondering what's under this hood of this person playing the guitar. Like, is it him? Like, is it gonna be him talking to himself? I wonder how he's gonna do that. It's gonna be like CGI or some shit. So he basically kind of opened up that by setting a stage, right, on like a strange time is what he's like. He's kind of thinking back, right, where fear is pervasive, right? Let's say he directly addresses how power structures, especially governments and hierarchies, right? That type of style of dictatorship or the way they manipulate people into feeling inferior. So hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. This line highlights the power imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So it's that he keeps it pretty much keeps people like us, ordinary people, right, down while those in control thrive. We see it in the U.S. I'm saying I don't know if he's speaking about the U.S. or maybe he's speaking about his own country, but it's just using these type of tactics that pretty much divide the people, and the ones who are in power conquer. So it's a divide and conquer. It's an old trick they've been using for a long time. He's kind of putting it under the umbrella of just it's a money game. You know what I'm saying? I tend to think it's more of a power structure, but I guess that kind of coincides with each other, right? So, but REN he is pulling back though. He's pulling back the curtain. You feel me? And like this dude is he's a man of the people, for the people, and he really gives a damn about humanity. And it's just strange to me. Like, I actually don't know any artists like that who I genuinely feel cares about humanity. You know what I'm saying? There's good people who just care about their craft, their craftsmanship, and their family. But he seems to be more outward. He's like an outward thinker. Like, he's thinking about the people outside, his followers, or just people who are not just people, period, just humanity. You know what I'm saying? He seems to really give a damn. Like, that's what I get a lot from his music, and I've only listened to 5-6 songs now. So yeah, I've got a lot out of those few songs. I've got a lot. So he's pulling back the curtain, right? It's what I would call it that. He's just showing us that people who run things, like, we should know this by now. They're just all playing a money game, and they set the rules. You know what I'm saying? So devils walk among us. They fit the criteria. Yeah, he's using devil imagery to paint politicians, right? And it's because it's those in power who are like morally corrupt. We know this though. If you don't know it, then I feel bad for you. So it's definitely a fitting role for politicians who we look at. If you're aware, you understand that these dudes are like villains, and they manipulate the masses. The masses meaning you know what I'm saying, meaning us, right? And so this line, the devil walks among us, they fit the criteria. It hits hard though, because it's not just about politics. Don't get it twisted. Don't get wrapped up in politics. It's a broader critique on how those with power lack integrity. You know what I'm saying? He's peeling back the layer. Eerie theories strike fear in weary-minded men. Oh, this dude gets in his bag, though. He gets in his bag. He's referencing the conspiracy theories, right? And the what do you say? The misinformation, right? Misinformation can keep people scared and divided, and that's how they really run these countries. That's how all these leaders run these countries. You know what I'm saying? So his critique of how people are blinded, by illusions to choose, right? As he points out, it's suggesting that even the choices we think we have are often like manipulated. It's a powerful reminder that the freedom that we think we have is often just an illusion. It's not really freedom. Like, and it's controlled by the powers that be. Like, don't get it twisted. So he's speaking more towards the illusion of where we live in, what I'm saying, mentally. And where they put us mentally and physically, but where they put our mind. Because if they can control your mind, then they can play their money game, and we're just going to be slaves to the money game. If you're not aware, you'll just be a slave to the money game, right? So look at the lyrics. So game that lets the whole world burn. It's a game that lets the whole world burn. So Ren divides into how greed is at the heart of society's problems, right? Making my money a game that lets the whole world burn. You know what I'm saying? So he said that twice. So he's emphasizing on that. It's a double meaning here. It's clear. So while money was created for trade, right, it should be a tool for good, though. It has instead just become corrupting forces that just turns people against each other, us, me and you, the everyday people. It drives violence. It exploits the vulnerables. You know what I'm saying? The vulnerable individuals out there. And there's a lot of vulnerable individuals. Look at all the people who just follow politicians and swear on them like, I'm left, I'm right, I'm conservative, I'm liberal. It's like the line, it turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. Like, this shit is deeper than politics, y'all. And he's really, I'm in verse 1, he's already peeling back the layers. That's really, I'm not gonna say it's surprising to me, but it's like, I wonder how far he's gonna take it, because I think there's 3 verses in here. So it's just like, to me, it's like he's already peeling back a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this dude, his mental is deep, man, and he's been through a lot. So he's able to peel back and see things in a way that we don't really see things. We're not capable of seeing things because we lack the experience that he experienced, right? So, but turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. This is one of the most impactful lines in the verse, to me, anyways, because he's emphasizing how far people are willing to go for money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but Ren, he's showing deeply ingrained greed is turning innocent people into criminals. That's really what it's doing, because the limits of how far you would go to get this monetary success, you know what I'm saying, that's temporary anyways, if you believe in the spiritual force of living after this life, right? It's flesh versus spiritual. You know what I'm saying? If you're not feeding the spirit, you're feeding the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's like going hard on that. I'm not saying he's highlighting that, but that's what I'm just giving y'all my analysis of what I'm getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? But he's pushing, it's pushing people to do things that they've never imagined because of financial freaking desperation. So the finger on the trigger, money, the finger on the trigger of a money game, that paints a dark picture. That just that money drives us towards self-destruction, often at the expense of others. You know what I'm saying? Or yourself or your family. Like it can get deep. You know what I'm saying? It can definitely get deep. But he said, blame others instead of looking at ourselves. Right? Oh, rain, a storm comes our way. Like, he's setting the tone, dog. He's setting the tone. I really enjoyed the chorus just because I wish it was a little longer. Like, I wish he did it. I wish he did more singing. I enjoy his singing. It's like a rough singing, but it's like it's purposeful. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So So he says, rain, rain, rain. To basically a storm's coming our way. It's just to suggest that the inevitable is going to happen. And there's a reckoning for the way society has been built on lies, greed, corruption, greed. I already said greed, but just selfishness and all that, right? So the storm is coming, right? The inevitable storm is coming, and those who haven't, risen through deceit will eventually just face the consequences. They will. Believe that, son. Believe that. So, but Ren, his message in here, he's challenging listeners. You know what I mean? He's challenging listeners to look inward, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. We're all part of this old money game, and this line just speaks directly to the idea of everyone, me, you, the willing and the unwilling, right? The purposeful and the unpurposeful. It doesn't matter. We're all a part of this broken system. And Amber Alert, but just him talking about putting the mirror to society. He kind of did this in the last track I did, and well, not the last track, but episode 3, and on Sick Boy, he kind of did that. So he's good at that. You know what I'm saying? He's good at holding people accountable, and how he does it is by taking accountability himself. You know what I'm saying? So he plays a part in taking accountability himself. So that's one of the things I really respect about him, is just the way he puts it in your face, but at the same time owns it. You know what I mean? He owns it. But let's keep it going. Imagery, dog.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech.
Talk about
when did freedom become a reason to hate, a way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and put the middle class savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize the whole that's all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy.
I gotta go back.
Fear when they support these I
gotta take this in.
President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate, a way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and put the middle class savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate your...
Yo, this dude is theatrical. Like, I don't like some of y'all already who watch my other videos know that I say he needs to get with Lin-Manuel and they need to make a play. They need to make a dope play. And you know what? It could be about awareness, about, it could be about social issues and stuff like that, or political issues and stuff like that, or it could be about like, mental illness or mental health, or even real actual illnesses, right? Like all that shit. It could be about all of that, and they can make a beautiful play, dog. He could probably do it himself, to be honest, but Lin-Manuel is a master at plays, and he's been doing it for so long, and it would just bring more attention if he did it with him. But I don't know how it hasn't been spoken about. I don't know how somebody in his team, maybe it is in the works, you know, we don't know. But like, he seems to be very open book with his fans. I feel like he would kind of like let y'all in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let us in. I'm a fan too now. But not a renegade yet, but I am a big fan. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't get over. Every time I hear him, I just can't get over the fact that this man needs to be on a stage doing theatrical shit, like a musical hip hop play. You know, and he's all types of music. He's jazzy. He's soulful. You know, he could do it all, obviously. But yeah, I'm gonna let this verse finish out so we could come back and read the lyrics and peel it back.
In a second, still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. Yeah. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame.
Oh my
it's
God.
It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
I gotta pause it. What's happening right now? So he just tied his head up with and he drew that face mask on him or something? Oh my God. He said America was colonized by Britain, Britain was colonized by Rome. I like how he's just giving little history lessons, man. This dude is a freaking... Not only is he really good at rapping and singing and all that, but he's smart. He's intellectual, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the most intellectual person, but I'm very versed in history. I like history, and I like that he's pointing towards things that either I'm aware of or some things I'm learning. And it's just like, I cannot agree more with the message that's going on, right? And so yet we make mistakes all again. He said demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. He was like, and we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. Don't follow like sheep. Be a goat. But yo, what's going on at the end of this video? I want to break down that verse, but I also want to finish this out. But there's so much time. I'm going to let it finish. Hey, I thought Buddy was skinny. This dude kind of brolic, eh? He kind of ripped. He's kind of chiseled, my boy. That boy is ripped. sick of playing the money game. He was sick of playing the money game. Demonizing immigrants when you're the immigrant, because all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. The irony is imminent. He said, "I'll shed the light on immigrants." Yeah, and then he went into America and was colonized. Yeah, I mean, he ain't speak no lies now, did he? No, he did not. So, dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear. So he's addressing how fear mongering, right, has always been used to control the masses. So he critiques leaders who push this type of divisive ideology, right? That keeps people pretty much separate and suspicious of one another. So we can never get together to form a public strength to go against the government or anything like that. So they keep us divided. That's the whole point. To keep us divided, keep us arguing about race, arguing about politics, so we can never get together, and so we'll be dependent on them forever. So he calls out this fear-based manipulation, emphasizing that it's a tactic to maintain power by pitting people against each other. When did freedom become a reason to hate? His questioning of freedom's misuse touches on how the concept has been twisted to justify harmful behavior and racism and all the other BS, right? So so it's like freedom of speech or freedom to do this, freedom to do that, and people use it for wrong. For wrong, right? So the line does cut. Like when did freedom become a reason to hate? That line does cut deep. It does cut deep. It's pointing out the hypocrisies of those who use freedom of speech, right? Like I said, as an excuse to spread hate, right? And Ren dives into into historical hypocrisy, as you can see, right? But he said, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered like savages. Right, he's calling us out, bro. He's calling out the Western nations, right, of their colonial past, right, highlighting the irony of preaching values like freedom and equality, and while engaging in violent exploitation actions like on a regular basis. Still to this day, a lot of this shit's behind closed doors, so you may not be privy to this type of information, but the critique is still pointed out as how the history is often rewritten and fed to us or ignored to maintain, a sense of superiority, right? I don't know. Like he seems he's just so knowledgeable on this shit. Like he's speaking to this shit in a way that he's not missing a beep. You know what I'm saying? He's not missing a beep on what he's saying. If your country was in flames, you'd immigrate yourselves in a second. Is that not true? Of course it's true, right? Of course it's true. So we have to think twice about the things we say or how we judge people, To me, it's more of a stark reminder of just the immigrant experience, right? If you really peel the layers out. So he's calling out those who demonize. He's not calling out those who who are patriotic or whatever, but just those who demonize with hypocrisy. That's really the highlight here, right? So without acknowledging that they do the same in desperate situations. Why are you judging people that are doing things that you would actually do if you were in their situation? Let's be for real. So Ren pretty much lays bare the hypocrisy of anti-immigrant sentiment, not law, not not things that make sense, not the common sense of the nature, but just especially in the countries that are built off the backs of immigrants, like the Western nations, right? So, America was colonized by Britain, it was colonized by Rome. So now he's connecting historical dots to show that immigration and cultural blending are just part of the human history, the human story, everywhere. So the line is powerful reminder that no one's heritage, right? Because people, we like to divide each other. So no one's heritage is pure like they may think it is. Your heritage isn't pure, dog. Everybody has these evil even within the black community, a lot of people like to say, they want to go back to Africa where they're from and build land there and start life over there and blah, blah, blah. But it's that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't do it because you're running from the white man in America, because the dude, the country you're praising you want to go back to, they sold you. You were already enslaved when you were there anyways. First of all, if you know your history, you were already enslaved in Africa, and then they in chains put you on ships and sold you to those colonizers. Those people didn't. Those colonizers didn't come over to Africa and take over. Are you crazy? You think they went to a whole continent and took over the whole continent of Africa and just started snatching up slaves in Nigeria, West Africa, the Congos? You think they was able to do that? No, they made a deal. They made it. You were sold and you were bought. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth of the matter. So there's two you need to be mad at, right? The colonizer who bought you and treated you like an animal, and the one who treated you like an animal and then sold you like property. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? So America was colonized by Britain. Britain was colonized by Rome. It's an ongoing effect. It's been happening for, it was happening then for, now they found a new way to enslave us. So now they enslaved the mind. They put the chains on the mind now. So the line is still powerful, right? So everyone comes from somewhere, and it's hypocritical to forget that. Like, don't forget that. You come from somewhere, right? You ain't from here. If you think you're from here, you're not. You're not from here. So demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, right? He's making examples. So just to reflect on society that often repeats the same mistakes. Vilifying groups, just throwing people in a whole group, people just based on fear and prejudice. Like, this is where people use their freedom of speech or their freedoms of whatever, right? And they abuse it, and they use it for poor, not for good. So the repetition of history, especially through media and just like societal norms, right? It just perpetuates the division Ren is fighting against in his lyrics, especially in the second verse, where he really dives in and highlights most of the hypocrisy, right? And I don't know what the ending was about. It's throwing me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So I'm not sure why he did the whole gasoline thing and pretty much lit himself on fire. But the whole world, I guess he's saying that's his own, he's taking accountability in this world burning, or is he just sick of playing the money game? You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. But he says there's no left, there's no right. So in the middle, we sleep. Just pointing out the constant division, between political sides. They blind us with the bigger picture, right? So now we're stuck in a cycle of just conflict or unable to see past labels, right? So now they got the labels things going on. It's just more things to keep us occupied, right? And just to keep us apart, really. But at the same time, what he's trying to do is to provide a wake-up call to recognize that the real battle is against the systems that thrive on our division, right? So the corporations that thrive in our divisions, the politicians that thrive in our divisions, the presidencies, or whatever the case may be, right? They thrive in our division. It's a big money game. They're trying to protect their pockets. You got to remember they're doing that first and not serving you first, right? They're not serving you first. Don't think that, please. So money game, right? See, he named this the trilogy's Money Game. I'm so ready for Money Game 2, but it's just his way of critiquing the greed of politics, societal divisions, so on and so forth. Just how the world is shaped, pretty much. But it's sharp, it's insightful. He's being very unapologetic, right? He's drawing connections between personal responsibilities and the larger just systemic issues, whether you believe in them or not, right? This is just his point of view. But he's challenging us to all look beyond the surface. You know what I'm saying? Question it. Question our beliefs and acknowledge our role in perpetuating these cycles. They're in control of what the direction is, but we fuel it. You know what I'm saying? We fuel the fire. We do because we play in their game. So Ren he kind of uses, historical references and, societal critiques or whatnot, you know what I mean? But he's doing it to showcase just like raw honesty to what we all should be doing is dissecting this money game that we all play. Knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, it doesn't matter. You are part of the game. Take accountability for it and start working against it and not under it or for it, right? So he's what I like about Ren is that he doesn't just point the finger, at the powers that be or those in power. He holds up a mirror to everyone, every single one of us, him included, just urging us, all of us to. This also reminds me of the Kendrick song I just did, because it's like urging us to see our own reflection, like where we're playing into this mess. Look at the mess we've made. We've done this at their hand. We done this. They couldn't have done it without us, right? So it's really a call. It's really a call to action. Wrapped up in a warning, though. You know what I'm saying? So he's like warning us, but calling us to start. We gotta, no more talking. No more talking. We gotta make action. A reminder that change starts with awareness and ends with accountability. Money Game. This is episode 5 of Making-A-RENegade. Patreoners, I'll see you on episode 2. We out.